Sorry, I just got to turn my phone off. Notification. Everyone's just heckling me right now.
Oh, really?
Just getting a million text messages. So I'm just turning it off.
Welcome back to the Insiders podcast with myself, Matt Hayes, and my co-host, Darren Broadbridge. We have the specialist of all special guests coming for you tonight. This guy is so special that Darren, who is currently in Hawaii, has stopped to surf at sunset, paddled in, found his local Starbucks, got the best internet signal he can just to join us on this poddy. The guy who is joining us tonight is one of the best surfers in the world right now, producing some of the most amazing edits on some of the most amazing boards. He's one of my favourite surfers. He's one of my girlfriend's favourite surfers, but just to look at. And he is one of the all-time great guys out in the surf world, as well as being a ridiculously good surfer. I am unbelievably frothing right now, and I'm glad to announce that joining us on the Insiders podcast is none other than himself, Jack Freestone. Please enjoy this. Here he is. Welcome, Jack Freestone, to the Insiders. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, man. Very excited.
That's all good. It's all good. So personally, I'm a massive fan of yours and your surfing for a long time. So I'm semi freaking out right now, if I'm completely honest. But it's sick to chat, and I think it's perfect timing because your recent move to Album seems to be going well.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a really cool transition, and that's how I got onto this podcast. I listened to your previous podcast with Matt, and it was a really cool conversation. And then you reached out. I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. But yeah, the transition to Album has been so effortless.
Yeah, it seems it in your surfing. I think when I spoke to Matt, I kind of said to him, you can see in your first couple of clips, he was almost getting out of the thruster mode, in my opinion, and stuff. And then some of the recent clips, there's one that you do recently with like this nose pick turn that just for the first time in a long time, I looked at my Instagram and out loud was like, whoa, like, so it seems like,
thank you.
Yeah, it seems like you're clicking with some of the boards.
Yeah, I mean, that's like obviously all Matt, man. Like he's just been so intrigued in every little bit of like feedback or conversation we have, and it's just been so cool just because you constantly feel like every quiver of boards is just getting noticeably better and better and better. And that's usually like what happens when you join a new team. But like with him, it's just so different. It's just like creatively, it's just so different. And it's just been so kind of eye-opening just to dabble in so much stuff that's, brand new to me, but it's been around me like my whole surfing career. And it's just, it's been really cool.
Yeah. I mean, even like two complete polar opposites of the surfing talent pool of yourself and me, but even so I've got an ASIM album. I've got a couple of albums, but one of them, the one that I've enjoyed surfing the most, is an asymmetrical, which I know you've obviously picked up a couple of boards, and a couple of them are the ASIMs. And in my chat with Matt, he says that on a regular surfer, like everyday surfer, like intermediate guy like myself, an ASIM is better than symmetrical. But obviously your top end, how do you find the ASIM?
The ASIM is it's an interesting board, man, because I have seen them. The first time I got introduced to one was over at J-Bay, and I didn't surf it. I just looked at it. I picked it up and was like, what the hell is this thing? And it just looks so wacky, the shape and the lines and the outline and everything. And Kersey was actually, I think he went and rode it. He went and rode that and maybe a finless. And it was probably one of the best I've ever seen him surf. He was having the most fun too. But at ASIM, an ASIM is they're just an ultimately fun. It's just a different shape, a different feeling. For me, it was just unique, just jumping on it and just feeling and trying to understand a board so much. And it just kind of was it for me. It felt like the board, you have to surf to what the board wants, not to how you want to surf. And it kind of made me, I don't know, it just made me appreciate the ASIM way more. And also, like, it was exciting to kind of like forcibly change my surfing a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. And so do you still feel like the standard board suits what you're and you understand it a bit more, or not understand it, but kind of for a pro, you want to be on that, if that makes sense.
A shortboard, like just a standard shortboard.
Yeah,
you can, like,
or like
shortboard.
like a symmetrical board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Am I comparing the two, or?
Yeah, like for your everyday surfing, do you still feel like the symmetrical board is like, if you've got two and it's like perfect conditions, you're going, I still want to be on the symmetrical?
It's kind of a hard question now because, like, I'm in such a different mindset with that. I'm so open to like yesterday I went and surfed. Oh no, Sunday I went and surfed like 6 to 8 foot Haleiwa on a epoxy rounded pin twin fin, which I'd never like. I even texted Matt. I was like, that's like, there's something I'd never see myself doing. And like, you know, if this was 5 years ago, I'd never see myself doing that ever. Like, that's probably, when you think of a board that wouldn't work out at Haleiwa, that's probably it. Or a single fin or something, you know?
Yeah.
And it went so incredibly well. I was kind of blown away. So my everyday theory on like riding boards and in certain conditions is just always just changing right now. But if I had to, I don't know, ASIMs, depending, like, you know, on what wave you're surfing, they kind of just feel like a regular shortboard in some ways.
Yeah. Do you know
that's
so interesting as a point, because, for example, myself, in my choice of boards that I have, I try not to have two boards that overlap. So I'll have a short board and then like a classic fish, and then say like a mid-length, and then my ASIM. Whereas obviously for a professional, generally like a world tour professional, all your boards are technically the same, but so you're almost going through what, like this morning there was surf here, not 6 to 8 foot Haleiwa, it was like 2 foot in the UK, but it was, I was like, well, what do I want to go and surf in that, rather than what does that wave want me to go and surf, which is it's a really cool concept.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And that sounds like you got the ultimate quiver. Yeah, that is it. Yeah, that's a good problem to have.
Forever changing. But I just want to say, Darren's now managed to join us after surfing sunset. Cool. So Dazza, welcome Daz to Jack, and Jack to Dazza.
Welcome,
hello,
Darren.
Jack.
Hey mate, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. Hey, what time did you surf Haleiwa the other morning? Because I actually surfed it at like 7 to 8:30 with this friend of mine from here.
We surfed it on Sunday. We were down there all day just doing like a family beach day.
Okay, because I surfed it in the morning. And what size board did you say you were on?
I was on a 6'1" Dark Arts Technology Twinsman with like a kind of rounded pin.
And it's epoxy.
It's epoxy, yeah.
And does it float more than your normal PU then?
It's kind of hard to say now because I don't even know what like a regular board feels like.
Yeah. But you didn't have any trouble getting into any of the waves?
Oh no, not at all. No, I was and there was another thing, and like there was so much turbulence on the wave, which is like, you know, epoxies hate that. Epoxies hate turbulence and chop and all that, from what I've gathered. And yeah, I was having probably the most fun surf I've had in a few months.
I was on a 6'9". My mate, he's bigger than me. He was on a 7'2". But we're big. He's bigger than you, and obviously we're older than you. So it just kind of shows the difference on what people would pick to ride.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got different theories, right? You know, like Kelly could paddle out there on a 5'2" and, you know, quad setup and just do as good as surfing as he's ever had. So like everyone rides different things.
So do you still have all your normal boards in your garage?
No, I don't have one normal board. I don't have one short board.
So that's pretty cool then.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, I'm strictly on the fun board tour now.
So I wanted to ask you actually, because I am a huge board nerd. You obviously don't know this, but I work for one of the biggest surf shops in Europe. So I see almost every board like daily and stuff. And your new board that you're working with Matt on, which obviously coming out as yourself. When I first saw it in your video, I was like, okay, that's a 2+1. Like, but then you surf it as a thruster.
No, I surf it as both.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's kind of like the bonus side of everything, like of that board, is you can surf it. I'd be interesting to see how it goes as an actual twin fin too. But yeah, like the last few surfs I've had a backdoor, I've been riding as a 2+1.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Have you got a name for it yet?
we're still working on a few names. Yeah, we're just trying to figure it out.
I've got one.
I think, what is it?
Epiphany.
Epiphany.
Because 2 reasons.
We'll add that to the list.
Yeah,
okay, yeah. Let's hear it to the reason.
Reason being is that it's almost like you had a surfing epiphany.
Yep.
So I will happily give you that royalty free.
Hey, so with your 2+1, so you're saying you just got a little trailer fin. How big is the trailer?
Yeah, gosh, I haven't measured, but it's
little.
It was a Merrick trailer, so they're pretty small.
Yeah.
Like when I say trailer, I mean it's a very small fin.
And are you finding that, like, do you come off the bottom or are you just straight in the barrel? Because obviously if you're on the twin, you're coming down the face and you've got that hole. But
I actually
don't you find they don't squirrel off the bottom for you at all?
Not necessarily. No, I wasn't having too much troubles with it. Again, like I'm fairly new to this whole world, so I haven't put years of work into it and understanding. But like my
yeah, but you know what you feel.
Yeah. My interactions lately have just been like, no, it feels incredible. I mean, the 2+1 has more speed than the regular thruster. That's what I've noticed. Sure. And with hold and everything, no, it feels the exact same. Which is kind of a little bit like weird because I put it in some positions where I'm like, oh, it should definitely skip out, but it hasn't really. So yeah, it's holding.
So the tail's not that wide then, I take it.
But no, well, it's kind of got a flyer.
It's got
it's got like a little hip flyer, whatever you want to call it, and then it's really pulled in.
Yeah.
So it definitely adds a little bit more stiffness to the tail, but it just adds so much more hold too.
So with your new boards, have you found that you have gone up in volume or anything like that? Or have you kind of stuck to and trusted the board design?
No, the volumes generally stayed around the same. Like I've always floated around 31 liters, but yeah, everything's kind of coming out, and that's kind of fitting into like boards that are from like 5.9 to like 6.0. They're kind of all they all the same literage, but they're just all different shapes and sizes and thicknesses too.
Which is sick, because if you actually got a Sunstone, you'd be on like a 5.3 for that literage as well. Also, just disclaimer, that's my literage as well. So if you don't like any, just sling them this way.
All right.
Just put them in the
board. I'm going to bring you
put
a board.
them in the post to the UK.
Yeah. Well, Daz, you've got space in your board bag coming back, right?
I've got a truck of Pizel down for my boss, a John board once.
Okay.
Hey, so Jack, you
don't want anything. Come get an album.
You being you're in a surfing couple, so like your wife, is she buying off your boards, or she's strictly sticking to thrusters and stuff?
No, she's pretty stuck in the thruster world, the short board kind of performance world, and
if people aren't into it, they're not into it yet.
Exactly. Yeah, and I kind of don't really force it on her. She always just sees my board and she's like, that looks pretty, and that's about as far as she goes.
Yeah.
Hey, so Matt's a full board nerd, and I kind of am, but I'm a bit older than you, and I'm a family man too. You've got 2 kids.
Yep.
So you're an expatriate. I don't think it wasn't money. I don't think the issue. What kind of led you to move to Hawaii? I mean, there's an obvious answer, but you tell me.
Led me to move to Hawaii?
Yeah.
We've kind of, Alana is obviously from Kauai, so we've always done like a 6 months in Hawaii, the US, 6 months in Australia, and it wasn't until COVID hit, or like a year before COVID hit, that we're kind of basing ourselves a little bit more in Hawaii, and then COVID hit, and then we've got some acreage over here in Kauai, and we just decided, we didn't know what was going on. We were hoping the pandemic was going to be like 3 months. We're like, let's just go back to Kauai and like
all of us.
Live, exactly, and like live off our land and just kind of get away from everything. And then here we are today, still kind of going through the stuff, and
So
that's
you've got a US visa or citizenship?
I
or
do.
something?
Yeah, I've got a sporting visa as of right now, but applying to get my green card pretty soon.
Okay, so that way you can have a bank account here and everything too, and pay
Exactly.
tax.
Yeah, pay taxes, have a bank account, create more debt, all those fun things.
And do you think the lifestyle it's got to be less hectic than the Gold Coast?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say that because, you know, obviously I'm so biased for the Gold Coast because I grew up there my whole life. Yeah, like since moving to over here to Oahu from Kauai, it's like the lifestyle change has been like incredibly noticeable with how much we get to surf, especially raising 2 kids under the age of 5. It was pretty crazy back at Kauai because we didn't have too much help. So it was just like, you know, surf when you can.
I call that the war zone.
Yeah, we were in the war zone. We're still in the war zone. Yeah, we're in the.
You got another few
front
years,
line right now. Yeah, we're in the front line right now. So we're just still doing our thing, and our whole motto is do what we can when we can, not when we want to. Right now.
Have you got like a nanny or an au pair, or you just
yeah. No, we do have we got to a point where like holy crap, like we need some help. So we have an au pair living with us at the moment, and then but yeah, it goes without saying, like you need a village to raise kids. It's what it definitely feels like.
Yeah, this is a good contraception. Don't for anyone who,
I've already told Matt, keep it in the pants.
Anyway, while we've still got you, there was something that I discussed with Matt Parker and said if I had the chance to ask Josh Kerr this question, I'd love to. So, but I'm gonna stick it to you because I never thought I'd have you on the potty. If you could now go and surf an event, world tour event, you get a wild card.
Yeah.
Do you break out the thruster again, or do you take out an album?
That's a very funny concept because I was actually if the partnership with Album happened any sooner, or like I had any more freedom to like get twin fins, I would have rode one in a contest for sure. But in saying that, yeah, if I was, I mean, I've had this conversation a few times. Like the competitive side of me and like competition world is definitely not dead. I'm just taking a step away from it. I'm not closing the door. I'm just kind of just leaving the room basically. And I mean, if I ever made it back on tour and did all that, or I ever wanted to go back on that direction, for sure, I would definitely at some point in at some wave.
Yeah,
I mean, I think J-Bay is back on tour, like an ASIM or a really cool, good twinsman out there. Like, yeah, I could definitely see it.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, if you feel that excited about a board, like at the moment you must be boards, like plural, surely you feel like you're surfing better because you're more amped.
I'm not. I don't know if it's hard to say if I'm surfing better, but I'm having more fun with surfing, which is cool. I mean, it's so easy to get stuck in a rut. Like you were saying, like the professional surfboard quiver is just made of, 6 short boards usually, in every board bag. So man, it's so easy for things to feel stale. And so now you get all these like I said, I've had all these crazy resources around me the whole time, but like a lot of board shapers don't want to shape these boards, like ASIMs and twin fins and single fins and mid lengths. Like if I was to tell any one of my previous shapers, like, oh, I want a mid length or I want an ASIM or a twin fin, they'd just be like, what? Are you serious? So now having that like creative freedom to do that, it's just been like so eye opening. So I don't know if my surfing has gotten better, but I'm definitely having way more fun.
So how probably start? Sorry, Matt. You're probably like opening the door because I'm pretty sure that there's going to be, well, there already is a new movement with it now too. Because before there are some shapers that only wanted to do that. Now they've got guys like you guys that want to do it too.
Yeah. That's a cool thing. Like anyone now who asks me, like if like a younger kid has like asked me like with boards or anything, I'm like, if I could go back in time to when I first started like competing like on the QS, I would just make sure every batch of boards I had was just one alternative, like different creative board. That's it. Because I mean, it just creates that freedom, and I mean, it's also just so much fun. And what I've noticed is learning more about these like kind of alternative shapes. is it helps me understand my short boards a lot better.
Yeah.
Even though I'm never going to ride it. I probably won't even ever ride a short board ever again. But I'm like, oh, okay, like I could adapt this into a short board if I wanted to, or this or that. And so, yeah, it gives you a better understanding for boards.
Yeah. And I was going to ask, how did you, like, whose album was it that you first got? How did you get one? Because obviously you had to have one to, and I think Matt said that you was on a Twinsman in Australia.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got, well, first of all, I think everyone saw Kersey and how enjoyable they looked. And I just saw him having so much fun, and I was just like, God, like that's what I want to do with my surfing. Like, I think he inspired so many people.
Yeah.
And motivated so many people. So I was just like, you know what, like I want to do that. And I hit up my friend Nathaniel Tumman. He works for Album over in Australia. Like, we've known each other for, you know, a long time now. And yeah, I was kind of going through a weird transitional space on tour, and like kind of in like a, you know, mentally not the greatest spot. And like, you know, I wasn't even surfing. I was like, I just go to these events and just like rock up and just go out. Like I did, just surfing got so unenjoyable. And then I hit Nathaniel up because I wanted to snap out of that mindset, because it was just kind of toxic world. I hit Nathaniel up because I'm like, I want to have fun with my surfing, just like Kersey. And he shaped me a Twinsman, and it was a swallowtail. It was so much fun. And I took that back to Kauai for like 3 months, and it like changed my whole mindset, my moods, everything. It was just so crazy how much of an impact that one board had.
Have you now got like waves in your head where you're thinking, fuck, I wouldn't mind now going there with this quiver?
Yeah. There's some like I'm literally eyeing off. I got a twin fin ASIM disorder, like epoxy, that I'm looking at right now, and I'm just like, I don't know why, but I just screams J-Bay or a right point. So,
please.
A lot of I don't know. I just love J-Bay so much because it's just so user friendly, and it's just so easy.
And now you know you could go back there with a completely different sort of outlook to it.
Yeah, if I went back there right now, my board bag would look a lot different to what it did when I went on tour. But yeah, there's a lot of boards that like that. Then I'm like, oh, this would be the perfect board for this wave or that wave. But it, like I was kind of saying earlier, my quiver is just like so diverse now that I'm like, I could go anywhere and have the most fun, which is like, that's the main goal.
Yeah. I got to ask you a question, Jack, because I noticed it on Album's Instagram, and this is how much of a bit of a geek I am. The whiteboard with the pink cross on it.
Yeah.
You creased it already?
No, I didn't do that. Actually, it's a funny story. Mike Townsend came over, and
Mike.
he was just hanging out. Yeah. And he gets so bummed. He got so bummed, but I'm like, dude, I just like it's I don't care at all. But he went for a surf at Harley Eva, and like he bailed and broke it. But he got so bummed. But I've got it sitting down there. I'm like, I don't know what I do with it. Do I give it away? Do I throw it away? I'll probably just try and give it away to someone.
Yeah.
Well, I got a friend over here who fixes boards and then like gives them to like the little kids and frosts them out. So I'll probably just do that. But yeah, I didn't break it. Mike did.
I was going to say, because I saw it crease. I saw the photo and I was like, creased it already. Like, but no, it's Mike. Well, we'll have to. I speak to Mike quite regularly, and so does Dad, and we'll have to give him some stick about that.
I mean, like I was just like, oh well, at least I know a guy who can get me another one.
Yeah. That actually happened to me at the UK wave pool. Someone accidentally, like, they messed up, smashed my board up, and I was just really cool about it. I was like, don't worry, it's fine, like it's fine. And he was like, why? But he wouldn't leave me alone, and he was like, why are you being so cool about it? And I was like, I didn't want to say like, oh. So I was just like, it's fine. And then I was like, oh mate, look, don't worry, I'll run a surf shop. I've got options. It's cool. And then he was like, oh, sweet. So yeah, Mike shouldn't be too worried about it then.
No, that's like, we were at the beach, and I'm like, dude, if there's any person's boards to break, like you're stoked if you break a pro surfer's board because they've got so many.
It makes you smile now.
Yeah.
Hey Jack, my roommate, well, he lives here. lent me a board yesterday.
Yeah.
And the leash ripped off. First wave at sunset.
Oh,
Board disappeared. I looked
Yeah.
for it for an hour. Go get my other board, paddle out, and it's 100 meters out the back, out on the outside peak.
went into the channel, huh?
Yeah, so I paddled out the sea, got it, paddled it both in, and like by that time I'd rung him and I said, "Look, I've lost your board," and he's got his jet ski to come looking for it.
What was it? It must have been pretty good for him to get his watch.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, "Well, you're not going to do that just for a board," but he said, "Look, I snapped it on my first surf and paid $300 to get it fixed."
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
Okay.
I put too much money into it in sentiment, obviously.
What you hear is like our listeners will kind of be used to it, but it seems like Darren always seems to have some sort of disaster going on at nearly every surf session. So
I won't tell you about the pros. Well, I will, the pros 9.8 that I snapped the fin out the day before. But
yeah.
Where did you surf over the weekend when it was macking, Jack? Apart from Haleiga.
I just surfed pipe in a few of the mornings, and then Haleiga.
So did you get pipe before that bodyboard comp came on?
No, not on Sunday. No,
Okay.
Just the previous 2 days before that, when it was those big west swells. It's just
That must have been pretty big.
Yeah, it's not it's not a place that I look forward to surfing when it's that big, but
you got that sick
get a good one.
Yeah. There's a clip on a 6.8, and I think it's a drone. Is it drone footage, or is that someone's got an up like footage from above? And
yeah,
you get spat out, and it's a sick race.
Yeah, they missed the other like 6 wipeouts I had, so that's good. But I just pipe and Haleiga.
That's cool. Well, Jack, look, we're not going to take up too much of your day because obviously you're a very busy man. What I would want to ask is, on every poddy, we do a do and a don't. So a surfing do and a surfing don't. Matt done his, and it'd be an honour to ask you a little tip of do this and don't do that for the poddy.
That's a challenging question because that's very broad. Do give me waves and don't snake me. That's about it.
Yeah,
Daz, that's sweet.
Daz is over there for another 12 days, so you got to remember that, Daz.
I won't be snaking him. I'm not surfing pipe, man. I'm 50. I say the same thing to people that come to Hossegor. I was like, if you're not a pro or really good, don't go fucking surfing the Gravier, because there's already enough people out there, which I'm assuming it's the same at pipe. There's already enough good people out there and young people that you don't want to just go out and get in the road.
That is very correct.
And
I
then
wish
go to
someone could
hospital.
have that conversation with a lot of people out pipe.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I saw all the cars.
You won't catch me out there. That's it. Well, and if you ever head over to Europe or to France, Daz is your man for locations and places to stay and stuff. He's.
I think I saw you one time, Jack, at Bourdain's with your wife and maybe even kids. You parked up the top at Bourdain's near the lifeguard tower. Like, there was good surf that weekend. And I think I heard you saying you had to surf as well because of the kids. You were like, we gotta go.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sums up our life.
You'll get there because you're still young, and your kids will be older when you're still young, because you still got surfing froth at 50, I tell you. So your kids will be old enough to be surfing with you, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah. I'm not gonna force that, but if the day does arise where we do end up on a family surf trip, that's gonna be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, that would be. Can't ask for more, really. Even though. Not forcing.
Even that, you've got to have a kid first, Matt. So one step at a time.
I've got.
Well, he's got the dog, so he's done the first step.
Hey, thanks a lot, Jack.
No worries, fellas.
Honestly, Jack, thanks so much for your time. It means a huge amount to us, and keep riffing on those albums.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. See you guys.
Have a good day. Take care.
See you, fellas. Bye.
That's pretty fucking cool, right?
That's fucking pretty cool, man. Wait.
Who would have thought it does? Jack Freestone joining me and you, and you're in Hawaii. You're just down the road from him.
Just down the road, and I haven't seen him in the water once because he doesn't surf an old man's cruiser wave. from the sounds of things.
But he, what a lovely guy. I'm stoked that he's had his eyes open to the world of alternative crafts, and he doesn't seem like he's switching back anytime soon. And maybe
I have trouble believing, even though I'm not at all calling him a liar, about how radical it would be that he doesn't have any shortboards in his garage.
See, I fully believe him. I'm not
saying I don't believe him. I just think it's such a radical change, because
but it's
kind of like if you've got a limp, throwing away your walking stick.
or the opposite way though. It's almost like going cold turkey. Maybe he felt like he had to get completely away from it so he could fully understand what he was able to do on the albums and boards like that. And I
maybe he is converted, and like me, no matter how many times I have a shortboard near me, I just don't grab it.
No, me too.
So I know it's gonna annoy me.
Yeah, and that's funny because I want to ask. This is goals to get Josh Kerr and Michael February and other people like that on the poddy, which I'm hoping we'll be able to do. But I want to ask all of them that same question, because I'd love to see if say Michael February got an invite to surf it in the World Tour at J-Bay as a wild card, like, will he paddle out on his signature twin fin, or is he going to go back to a thruster? And would Josh?
You're very fixated on this, aren't you, Matt?
No, I'm just fascinated is the word. I'm fascinated by it and their thoughts on it, because it tells me that maybe they're not the perfect boards for the most high performance surfing on every single wave out there. And who knows, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, there's a lot of people.
Oh, no. That's very good point. That's what I tried to get through to Jack. Like, I just think if you're more excited about something, you've got more energy in your body, and you can transfer that into your board, which looks better.
And that's what I said to him. I thought his surfing, the clips he's releasing recently, I thought they were way closer to his cluster edit, which I think is still one of the sickest edits, and I've said that many times. And I think that you can tell that he's having more fun by just looking at him surfing, and that goes hand in hand with his surfing looking better.
Okay, Matt, before we bore our listeners to tears, give me your do's and don'ts for the week, because I've got some sick ones, and I don't need to do a disaster story because I've already done it.
You already done it. And I have written down 2 sick do's and don'ts. So my first one's a don't. I watched someone do this. Don't tuck your wetsuit over your don't tuck your wetsuit over your boots. Your boots go over your tuck your wetsuits over your boots. Don't tuck your boots over your wetsuit.
Oh, that would have been good to see.
Yeah, it was funny. And the second one, because we've got to wrap this up in the next couple of minutes, is if you don't have a seat cover and you're, like I was, surfing on my lunch break and I needed to get back quick, use your board bag as a seat cover while driving.
Everyone knows that.
That's a good do. No, everyone does.
So you don't get a wet seat.
Yeah. Right, Daz, we've got 4 minutes. So
Okay, my do's and don'ts. I'll be quick because it's the same thing. Do use more foam in bigger waves if you've got it in your car.
Yeah.
Pick the bigger board. Don't use a borrowed board if you don't need to, and save yourself a 3-hour swim. Well, no, it wasn't 3 hours, but it was a mission. So, if you've got your own boards and you're in precarious waves, you're better off to surf your own boards, because you don't want to go smashing up someone else's board if you don't need to.
No. Sick.
Thanks very much, Matt.
That's a wrap. Enjoy Hawaii. We'll speak soon. We hope everyone loves it, and there'll be more special guests to come.
Aloha.
Peace.